It's my great honor and pleasure to introduce you our esteemed speaker, Raghuprasad Halakere. He is leading Salesforce practice at Cloud Odyssey. He himself, a technical architect, over 13 years of experience in Salesforce ecosystem. Raghu has an impressive portfolio of 30 plus successful implementations on wide range of Salesforce projects, including Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Experience, and Education Clouds. Wearing different hats at Cloud Odyssey, he is involved in pre-sales, tech solutioning, costing, and delivery, leaving no stone untouched, aiming for ultimate customer satisfaction. Throughout his career, Raghu Prasad has showcased his expertise in implementing cutting-edge tech solutions for customers, spanning the diverse domains such as edtech, insurance, pharma, telecom, banking, and automotive. His love for integration makes him explore more and discover different analogies. Also, he is a trailblazer mentor who has left an indelible impact on professional journeys of individuals. Along with the passion for innovation, he is also a versatile poet and director. He wrote more than 50 poetries and he directed 3 plus short films. His session promises to provide valuable perspective on leveraging Salesforce to drive business growth, streamline process, and achieve customer-centric excellence. Today, we are privileged to have Raghuprasad Halakere as our speaker, who will share his wealth of knowledge, practical experience, and industry insights with us. Thank you. Over to you, Raghu.
Well, thank you so much, Namrata, for your wonderful introduction. I would say I felt like I'm sitting in some weekend chat shows where a revamp of 13 years was just done in glimpse. Thank you so much, Namrata, for that. All right, so as Namrata was telling, I'm a poet by choice, as well as I do write stories. So I thought, why don't we start the webinar with the story itself? I think it's a cool idea, isn't it? All right, so then we can begin the session with the story itself. Okay, so here is where we are kind of having this session. So this session is all about the platform events as integration tool. Before you were getting into the integrities of the platform events, let's understand something, or let's begin with the story itself. All right. Assume that the friends of friends, and then their families happen to go to a get together party, right? So when somebody is going to get together party, you can understand there's so many chaos. First of all, they are friends, and they are bound to do some chaos, isn't it? So with that said, if I show you the next slide, you can relate definitely if at all you're going to any get together parties. I believe this is kind of image where it relates much for those guys who are more into get together parties. The very first image at the left hand section, you can see that there's a huge kind of a house apartment, right? So there are many folks doing their own activities. For example, you can see some people are busy swimming, some people are busy chit chatting, and some people are in some living room, and some more on the dining, and some in the kitchen and whatnot, right? If you include kids also, it will be like even more bigger chaos where everybody will be everywhere, right? Assume that not everybody loves to cook, right? If only one guy is cooking and everybody are resting or doing some other activities, the burden of serving the food itself will be a huge challenge. In that case, let's say the party goes on where after 3 hours everybody are hungry, and literally everybody are knocking the person who is good at cooking. You can see this image, right? The word, the sentence "is food ready" will be so much annoying to the person who is serving food. He cannot explain. In fact, if I was the person who is cooking, I would have been super annoyed, right? So he will definitely end up being annoyed. That is the tagline. So what is the solution? So So what he would do is, he would think of an idea where he will tell only once, so that the message will be reaching to everybody and in one go, right? There are many ways to do that, right? So for example, obviously there will be some WhatsApp groups. So what he will do is, so when the food is ready, he will just put a text that food is ready, right? Whoever is the member of that particular WhatsApp group, all will be notified. The person who is definitely annoyed, and then he decides to put a WhatsApp chat message, right? That is where the message will be broadcasted to everybody, and he solved the issue with ease. So that he can peacefully cook the food which he loves, as well as he will peacefully serve people, and then he will also notify people that okay, food is ready via WhatsApp group, right? So there's a lesson learned here, right? So there's a journey of getting annoyed, there's a journey of thinking of a solution, and there is a journey of evolution from one model to another model, right? Why am I explaining all this to you? This is very much relating to the topic what I've chosen today. As the slides move on, you will understand much better about this story itself. Okay, so even before I move to any other slide, let me give an example which is very much relevant to this, social media world, right? So day in day out, what not we do, given a mobile, given a social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and whatnot. Day in day out, we will be subscribing so many channels. By that, what do you mean? If you look at the framework of any social media, where the somebody is asking you to subscribe, and somebody is subscribing, and somebody is posting. If you fragment that in three different sections, you will end up having three actors, I would say, right? Or three mediums, I would say, right? One is the people who are called as YouTubers, who are having their channels, right? YouTuber 1, 2, 3 here, what I'm depicting in the picture, right? And then you also have the YouTubers posting the YouTube videos like this, right? And where are they posting? They are posting, or they're uploading their videos into YouTube channel, right? And if they are posting their videos or uploading their videos into YouTube channel, what do they mean by that? They are meaning that I post the video and you broadcast it. That is what they're telling to YouTube channel. To broadcast that, what does the YouTube channel do? For all the subscribers, a notification will be sent, right? So he really doesn't go to for example, YouTuber 1 is subscribed by subscriber 1 and 2. He need not necessarily tell each person who is subscribing that, boss, I have posted a video, please go and check that. Does he do that? No. The simple thing is, he just uploads it into the channel, and rest of the action is done with the channel itself. What is the technology behind here is, the YouTuber is posting the video, and then the channel will take care of broadcasting it to all of the subscribers who are subscribing to a particular YouTuber's channel, isn't it? With that said, again, the get together party story, the YouTube story, right? So we will now understand the essence of platform events in this particular slide. I believe now you are able to relate, because I just renamed YouTuber into event publisher, and the YouTube channel into event buster channel, and then YouTube subscriber into event subscriber, right? So here the technology is no different. Instead of just the YouTube videos, we are calling it as event messages. But in essence, the overall concept is same. Be it be a get-together party where that guy took an idea to broadcast a particular message to all the guys who are in need of food, or in terms of YouTube, where he was just posting his YouTube videos into his channel, so that all the videos are kind of the notification will be sent to the subscribers, right? So in that case, we just saw the the glimpse of platform events, and its working way, or the the essence of the platform events, or its existence itself, and the architecture beneath that, right? So this is just a beginning, guys. Let me walk you through more interesting slides. It is definitely time to understand now what are those the elements of the platform events. So it is time for us to understand the anatomy. So if you saw this previous slide, we are talking about event itself and event publishing, and we are also talking about the channel, and we are also talking about subscribing it, right? But now, if in the next slide, we should be seeing the definitions, or we should be understanding what exactly they mean by that, right? So what is platform event? A platform event is, as it is mentioned in this slide here, a change in state that is meaningful in a business process, right? For example, in our stories, what was the a platform event? In the get together part story, food itself is the event, right? And then when he posts that in the channel, that will become the message itself, the event message, a message that contains data about the event. Food is ready is what he told in the WhatsApp group, right? That becomes a message, right? And who is the event publisher here or event producer here? The guy itself, or the YouTuber example, right? The YouTuber, he himself is the event publisher, right? So if you look at the definition now, the publisher of an event message over a channel will be called as event producer or event publisher, right? And now the question is, where is the channel, right? If you again look back at the YouTube example, or the in the YouTube example, obviously YouTube channel itself is the channel where he will post the videos. In the get together part example, the WhatsApp group will become his channel, right? And then who are those subscribers? Subscription is very simple, right? So in the YouTube, you need not explain, it is very much self-explanatory. In the party example, get together part example, people who are all in that group will be kind of a subscribers, we can say, right? That is where they get the notification of the message that food is ready, right? So what do you mean by then event subscriber? The one that receives messages from the channel will be called as event subscriber, right? So with this slide, we now kind of understood the anatomy of the platform event, and also in the previous slides we could understand the structure of platform event, its working nature, right? In the next slides, we will take a little bit step back, because if something is very much buzzing, and if there is trending, there'll be evolution behind that particular existence itself, right? So if at all we are talking about Salesforce platform events, so we should be talking about the evolution of integration architecture itself, right? So in the next slides, you will be I'll walk you through different types of integration architectures, and also why are we heading to platform events. We will try to address the basic question itself. Okay. All right then. Here we are. There are 3 integration architectures. It is not necessarily a particular only pertaining to Salesforce. In any software industry, this is a trend. In any software technology, this is if there is any integration technology is involved, this is what we have. Point-to-point integration, right? That is one integration architecture. Hub and spoke is one more, and the latest, which is having the biggest a boom or the buzz, is ESB. We call it as enterprise service bus integration, right? As we see in this diagram, about the point-to-point integration, right? If it is point-to-point integration, so we are talking about connecting 2 systems one-on-one. It's like 1:1 relationship, right? Now in this diagram we have system A till E, B, C, D, and E. For example, now system A wants to connect to system B. System B wants to connect to system C. That is what you'll have one-on-one relationship connected, right? So that goes like it is endless. For example, if you have 5 systems, you can do the mathematics by yourself, right? If you have 5 systems, you want to connect with each other, it will be like some probability and combination number of connections you will end up having. What if you have 100 systems. And if you want to connect all 100 systems into with one another, that'll be even more bigger risk, I would say. In fact, it can go to any level where you will really not be able to scale that. You will be really not able to have the connections maintaining in a very proper manner, right? With that said, the evolution is like this. The software industry kind of came up. The brainies came up with one more called or one more architecture called as hub and spoke, right? So the hub is very interesting word, right? So hub is means what? So the hub is a centralized piece where every single point will be connected. So I was, on a funny note, when I was going through the diagrams, it was more of a corona image for me, the virus itself, right? But again, so that is apart. So this is a all the things we call all the systems we can call them as spokes, right? So here, if you can notice, we are not trying to connect from one spoke to another spoke, directly. So we are using a medium or a channel called as hub, right? So my point of contact will be always a hub. For example, this is, let's say, system A, and this is system B, right? So whatever I want to do, I'll go to the hub and ask, boss, I want to connect with system B, right? When I tell that system B, so the hub, what it will do, it will get the information from system A, it will also get the system information from system B, and it will do the mapping, right? That is where the middleware world of integration was always, right? So even now it is prevalent. It is not like any of these have gone. So we are heading towards ESB. That is one more story to tell. But again, so we do have the hub and spoke model, very much prevalent, very much widely used, even now. But it doesn't mean that it is wrong, right? It's an evolution. So we are heading towards even finer things, right? So with that said, we will also understand the drawbacks of each point-to-point integration as well as hub and spoke, and also why are we really heading towards ESP? We'll also understand that, right? So this is in the nutshell. This is the architecture. This is again this diagram now will be very much relevant to you because we have spoken enough about the publishers and the the bus, right, the channel and the subscribers, right? So what do we call the integration architecture as? It is called as ESB, enterprise service bus integration, right? So now it is time to really understand the challenges of the previous integration models which led to the evolution of ESB model, right? So let us try to get into that. So far I believe we are clear. If there are any doubts, definitely I'll be answering at the end. That is at the end, for which we have around 10 minutes dedicated to answer your questions. All right, hold on to your questions, guys. Let us move to the next slide. All right, so now I was talking about the challenges, right? I was talking about the 100 systems if you want to connect one on one. You can imagine the diagram itself, right? For example, we are not even just touching the 100 here. It might be around 50, may not be 50 also, right? So you cannot imagine the skewing nature of it, right? For example, now let's say there's one system here which is trying to connect some SaaS based system, right? And the same system can be some social media, some mobile devices, some database, some cloud platforms and whatnot, right? For each integration, it has to have a definite set of instruction. What is your request response model? What is your database? How do I connect with you, right? How should I really have that handshake happen, right? What is your authentication process? If I want to, for example, if this system wants to have the same authentication mechanism with social media platforms or with the database, impossible, right? So the systems are different, the authentication models are different, and you will end up having too much of hard work for simple things, right? Then you can ask me, then really we should abandon this point-to-point integration? Not necessarily, right? If you are systems are less, and then if you're okay with having some REST API developers or SOAP API developers, why not go with that, right? But again, if you're having some sophisticated models, do try those as well. That is the takeaway from this particular image. But again, to put it in the nutshell, what are those three prominent? There can be n number of challenges as well, right? But we do have, if at all I put them into one bucket and then name them, scalability is one issue. What do I mean by scalability, right? If you have now four systems, you want to have interconnection in terms of point to point integration. Yes, you did that. Let's say in a year, that four systems now became 40 systems, and in one more year it became, let's say, 100 systems, right? The diagram I was showing to you, it was as applicable as as it is, right? So it means what? So your inclusion and exclusion of the entities is very much time consuming. When we say time consuming, what do exactly I mean is, you should understand the system you want to connect. You should understand the authentication models, authorization ways, the request response models. What is the structure of it? How do I do a handshake, etc.? And if I do invest my time for one system, I should be investing the same time with another system, because it will be different, right? If I keep on doing that, if I as and when the new system is onboarded, isn't it time consuming? All right. So again, now too many integration points to handle. If the business grows and multiple integration points get added, it will be even more difficult, right? So that is where, for example, if you're having an enterprise where you have so many systems, and then if you want to one common solution for all of the integration touch points, right? That is what we cannot do in the point to point integration. The name itself tell you that it is point to point, right? It is not like point to points. It is always one to one, right? So the next challenge what we have is tight coupling. What exactly I mean by that? Dependency on every integration point make it tight coupled. What is the dependency? Dependency, as I told you, about the nature of that system, the structure of the database, the structure of the response request models, the structure of the authorization models, etc. It becomes a kind of a dependent only on one particular system, right? It varies across systems. When we do that, again, that is where it is get tightly coupled, and then I have to invest so much of time to do those connections. That is where it is very much tightly coupled, right? And one more is ununiform communication. What do you mean by that? So there can be social media, there can be database, there can be some cloud platform, right, and whatnot. So one might be expecting a JSON format. One must be expecting some what do you say, the XML and whatnot, right? So it can be various nature of communication data exchange formats, and which will be very difficult to maintain as well, right? So to all of this, that is where we went for the hub and spoke model, right? But again, as I told you, yes, it eliminated good amount of the problems of point to point, where let's say there were 100 connections to make, it came down to, let's say, 10, right? It's a significant improvement when it was introduced, the hub and spoke. With that said, do we really say that it doesn't have any disadvantages? If you say that, we are wrong. The disadvantages of the hub and spoke model would be like this: single point of failure, right? As we saw that in the diagram, there will be only one hub and different spokes. What exactly we are doing there? We are trying to connect one spoke to another spoke with a mapping which is done in the hub. With that said, the hub is the centralized, I would say, table where you have all the mappings: system A to system B, or system A to system D, system B to system E, system E to system C, right? All the mappings are done in only one single hub. What if that hub gets destroyed, or due to some reasons it is not working? You are at a given point, you are literally putting all the systems into risk, and nobody is communicating to anybody else, because the ultimate medium of communication is always via that hub, right? I'll just take you back to the diagram, right? So if the hub fails, the entire the communication integration system will collapse. That is the biggest risk in the hub and spoke. And also, let's say I'm also talking about the performance bottleneck as a challenge. The reason being, let's say, as I told, let's say there are 10 systems, and then your hub can handle, let's say, 20, and then you added 10 more. Fine. If you keep on adding number of spokes, means number of systems to integrate with each other, it will be a big performance kind of a performance hassle for the hub to handle. It will be like the responsibility of the hub now is to cater to all those new systems which are added, for which again one more set of mappings will come, and then integration points will be there, etc. That is all fine. If it keeps on increasing, that is where the issues will be kind of very much rampant. What kind of issues? The issues might be like your organization must have to invest in the latest software trends, software what do you say, the resources, or it must have to again invest on the hardware resources as well, so that you have the federated nature of the hub. You kind of delegate that hub, right? So yes, we cannot really say that it is a drawback. If you are able to invest on that, it may not be a drawback to you. But if your organization is having that cost part, in fact every organization will be looking for cutting down the cost part. In the same angle, if you want to if you want to take a cost efficiency part of hub spoke model, if it is increasing in the number of spokes, that is where it will become challenging, right? So what are those challenges? Single point of failure, performance bottleneck, and cost inefficiency if the organization grows with adding number of spokes, right? For the same hub to interact. That will become one more your challenge. With that said, now we should be I believe now we should be really hinting down then what is that platform event will bring to the table, so that we can eliminate the challenges which are present with the point to point as well as hub and spoke, right? All right. So even before I go to this, what I want to kind of show you is just a quick question to you, all of you. Anybody can answer that, right? So do you know the definition or full form of DPS? Anybody can answer. Anybody can answer in the chat as well. I don't mind. What is the full form of DPS? I'm having a active look on the chat window as well. Anybody can answer me what is DPS? If you're married, and if you are having kids, and if one of your kids is going to school, it will be very much relevant question to you, and you'll be able to answer. Let me see who will answer that. What is DPS? I believe the chat is on for everybody. Yeah, I can see that it is turned on for you guys to chat. Or if you want to, all right, somebody is putting it as Delhi Public School. All right, okay. So one more answer, similar nature, Delhi Public School. All right. Any interesting answer? Yes, obviously this is also an interesting answer, but I want to see if anybody can answer anything else apart from Delhi Public School. I'll just give you 5 more seconds. All right. Okay. So I'll share my screen again, so that I can reveal the answer for you guys. And you just need to confirm me if my screen is visible. I believe my screen is visible. Okay, so DPS is not what you think. DPS in terms of the platform events is definitely not Delhi Public School, because we're not talking about any school here, right? Uh, DPS is something which I have coined only for this particular webinar, which makes for all of us to remember the concepts of platform events in a very interesting way, right? Then what is DPS? DPS means define, publish, and subscribe. These are the three major important activities within a platform events implementation anywhere you go in Salesforce, right? So if you again remember the diagram, we were always talking about those three things. Some people will be publishing, and what do they publish? They publish the videos in the YouTube, right? And what is the channel? The YouTube channel, and then the subscribers, right? For that to happen, somebody should define the platform event, somebody should publish it, somebody should subscribe it. With that said, what are our ways, in terms of understanding the three activities? So the very next question you must be asking to me is, how do I define the platform event, right? Platform event itself is a kind of an object. It is just that the only difference is, instead of underscore C, you'll be having underscore E as the suffix API name, right? So you just need to go to your setup in the developer box. In the quick find, you just type in platform events, and then you create new, and then give it a name, right? And then you'll be having these things to these things under your on your screen. So you will also be given an option that do you want to publish after the commit, or do you want to publish that particular event immediately, right? If you want to publish that after commit, what does it mean? Only after the successful commit of the transaction you are kind of publishing that event. If you want to publish immediately, it means that irrespective whether it is successful or failure of the transaction, you want to publish it no matter what, right? So again, different business use cases and different ways of doing it. Now you should decide about upon the nature of the problem statement you are trying to give a solution to. And the next question is, can we create the custom fields as we can create some custom fields for the custom object? Obviously, you can go to any extent for that. Again, there are some limitations. There are some good number of governor limits for also the governor limits which are applicable for the custom object are very much relevant to the platform event as well. And there are even more little bit enhanced versions of governor limits for platform event. So that is very much openly available for you in the Salesforce documentations. Okay, you can go through with that. So with that said, we are trying to understand the definition part of, or defining part of the platform event, which means you want to create a platform event is what defining is all about, right? Then comes the next important activity, publish. If you want to publish a platform event, what are all the ways we have, right? I've just come up with simple diagram where I could tell you, what are those ways, right? For example, we can publish the platform events via Apex. When I say Apex, it could be Apex triggers, it could be Apex classes, it could be anonymous blocks. Wherever you can write Apex code and execute it, right? For example, in anonymous blocks, you write a piece of code and then you execute. That is your publishing, a way of publishing. Or in the Apex triggers, obviously, this is a trigger event-based activity, right? That is where it gets executed. That is where you are publishing it, right? Or there are some automation tools, for example, process builder, flows. Yeah, process builder is getting deprecated, but now we can concentrate about flows. So using flows itself, you can publish the platform events, right? And again, you can use the REST API where there is a definite format of request and response bodies, and then how do we hit that with the URI as I am showing in this diagram, right? Similarly, you can use the SOAP API, and there are some SOAP API calls as well. For example, create call, right? And also you have a bulk API where you can use the batch jobs and then schedule it, and then you call the batch job within the batch apex, in the execute method, you must be having some piece of code which is really publishing that particular event, right? So these are all the ways of doing the publishing the platform events. If you're clear with that, now let's understand how do we subscribe that, right? Subscription of platform events, again, the same, the pattern it will follow in terms of, writing Apex triggers to understand, the event coming in. And then again, the same, the flows we can use here again to subscribe. If at all you want to, subscribe a platform event using a, Lightning Web Component, this is how it is. You should be importing, this Lightning, EMP API, API, right? So again, which is using the Comet D client. I'll talk about the Comet D client in a bit. Just a hint about it so that you understand what is that Comet D, right? And again, if at all you want to have the Aura component, you should be, having this tag, right? And if you want to have subscription, done on the using any a party which is using the Comet D technology, it should be able to subscribe to that particular platform event, right? So as I have put some statements about the Comet D here, right? It's a scalable HTTP based event routing bus that uses an Ajax push technology pattern known as Comet, right? So it means what? So in the nutshell, in the layman language, this is all about this technology, which will be listening to the server, right? So if this a particular event based routing, the push technology is available on any of the systems, right? It will be always listening to the messages from the events from the server. As soon as the event comes in, that is where it becomes a subscriber. It will be listening to that. So the capability of Comet D is what is the essence of the platform event subscription, I would say, right? And then there are some more things, definitely, if you can Google about Comet D, you'll be having good idea about what exactly you are learning about Comet D, right? So with that said, we kind of covered 3 pillars or 3 activities, important activities in the platform event implementation. One is definition or define. Second thing is publish. Third thing is subscription or subscribe, right? That is the full form of DPS. Definitely not Delhi Public School. All right. Okay. So the next question is, what are those use cases? The moment we say platform events, we always think about integration, because that is where we spoke about all the integration models, right? Architecture ways, right from point to point, hub, spoke now, and then ESB. ESB itself, is again, the platform event driven architecture. With that said, do we really mean that, it will be only for integration? Not necessarily. This is what, these use cases will tell you. In this scenario 1, there is an Heroku application, right, which is kind of giving you the, which is, passing the events via REST, right? And then, in the event, in the Salesforce Lightning Console app, which is our subscriber, it will be listening to that via this event bus, right? So it means what? So now we are connecting one external system with one application within Salesforce, right? So this is one scenario. The another scenario could be, like for example, if somebody is, posting a charter note or charter, message in the Salesforce system itself, it should be, kind of given to the people who are using the Lightning Console app, right? So that is also very much possible. Here in this case, the charter trigger will become your publisher, and the Lightning Console app, which wants to see that message from the charter, will become the subscriber, right? We are now talking about 2 entities within Salesforce system, and to have an interaction, we are using the platform events. Similarly, it could be like, one flow, creates an event which is a publisher, and one more a flow which is listening to that will become your subscriber. That could be anything, right? So let us understand one simple use case where we are talking about the usage of platform events, right? For example, let us take this example of order management shipping, and then your customer, right? For example, if somebody is ordering something, and then let's say Salesforce OMS itself, if order comes into from the website, let's say the order comes into Salesforce OMS, and then the life cycle of the order should be kind of let's say order now is in a position where it should be shipped, right? There are multiple touch points for an order, right? One is the life cycle of an order should be notified to the customer, as well as the order should be again picked and packed by the warehouse system itself, right? The communication should happen there, and also the shipping partner should know that, okay, when should I take that, or if at all I want to communicate back that, okay, I have taken this particular order and then picked and packed, now I want to go and deliver that, right? In that journey I should always be communicating back to the end customer application that, boss, yes, now your particular order is in transit, now it is out for delivery, now I have come down to your door, or if I have come down to your door, you are not available. All these messages should be kind of communicated in real time, right? So again, for one particular order event, there are multiple touch points where messages should be passed. This is a very kind of a relevant scenario, day in day out, right? How many times in a day we order in any of the social media, or the platform like Amazon, right? And we see that event happening. We order something, we subscribe, kind of we get the notifications of the delivery, it is picked, packed, it's out for transit, whatnot, right? So in essence, if at all you are using the platform event for your integration model itself, that will be a seamless way of dealing with multiple system, I would say, right? So yeah, this is a very much theoretical session, I would say. But again, if at all I want to talk about platform events, I tried my best to give you the journey or the evolution of the platform events, why exactly it is present in the first place, as well as let's say if there is any demand for having the platform events hands-on, definitely we will come up with one more webinar where we will show you different ways of doing it, different use cases, etc. And we are very much open for your need, I would say. All right, I believe I gave you enough information about the platform events. For me, platform event is an integration tool which can take this world by storm. You can just get into Trialhead, do some Trialhead courses. That is one way of doing it. There are n number of videos, there are n number of blogs. Okay, we will try to give as much as information possible. When we post this video into YouTube, we will put all those links in the description, so that anybody goes through this video again, they'll be having n number of touch points to go through and to understand platform events even better, right? All right, so yeah, there's one person with a question. Can you explain about LWC communication with platform events? As I said you, in one of the slides, right? In LWC component, we can have those subscription code. You will definitely find it in the Google, and then in the Trialhead, where your platform event will be subscribed by the Lightning Web Component. It is not just Lightning Web Component. You can also subscribe using Lightning Aura Component as well. All right. So I believe I have explained you. It is about the subscription, I would say. So that is where for example, when one of the examples I was also talking about the Lightning Console app, right? If that console app is having the LWC or Aura components, if at all it is a subscriber. I was also giving you an example of chatter, right? If chatter message has to be shown on the Lightning console immediately, means what? So the LWC itself is the which is again inside the Lightning console app, right, is the subscriber, and there are some lines of code for that. I would have shown you if it is hands-on session. Definitely I would do that in the coming days. That is where your LWC will give you the subscription of that particular chatter message. All right, so with that said, yeah, I thank you so much, Ashwin, for your question. As well as there's one more question: can we have a two-way communication can we have two-way communication between two LWC Aura components? Yeah, see, as long as one is the subscriber and one is publisher, vice versa, this is possible. In fact, when you said two-way, my mind immediately triggered to the CDC. How many of you know about CDC? Anybody want to answer what is the full form of CDC? How is it relevant to a platform event? Anybody can text, the full form of CDC. And I'll also tell you why am I talking about that. Talking about this. Abhishek, Mayank. Well, nice. So this is about change data capture, right? So change data capture is also one of those event driven based architectures, I would say, where we will create a. It is very simple. It's a very much configuration based thing in Salesforce. You will go and just create a a CDC configuration, and it will enable a particular object, and then the other party will be able to listen to that. But the problem with CDCs, or the limitation of CDCs, it's always one way. Whereas in platform events, it is two way. Anybody can become subscriber, anybody can become publisher, right? As long as you are having that technology of the way I was talking about the comedy, right? If you are having that embedded in your any of the programming languages, well, we can definitely serve the purpose. All right. So I believe yeah, we are time. If at all, I guess there's one more question. Can a managed package LWC that subscribes to platform event needs the namespace? Yeah, this is definitely namespacing is one more. See, the main namespacing itself is the essence of packaging, right? So that is one of those essentials of packaging itself. So see, when we say application, it can be a managed package, it can be unmanaged package. It doesn't matter at all, right? As long as it is having the technology, or it is having the those lines of code where it can subscribe or publish, these things doesn't matter at all. All right, so I guess we are over time. I will be handing over this to Namrata for the question and answers back to you, so that it's a goodies time. Thank you so much, guys. It was wonderful to chat with you. It was completely a fresh feeling for me on a Saturday to kind of explain my interesting, the interest topic of interest, the platform events. Thank you.